So tonight we're going to talk about first thing, last thing. Hey, Kim.
Hi, sorry, I'm late.
You just missed all the dress talk. We'll have to talk later about it. I watched a training video today. This will be my second set of training videos on, but I have to say this product is a little more complicated. I think it's like Shakeology complicated, right? Where there's a lot of great ingredients and there's a lot of cool things you can learn about it. But so I'll get into as much depth as I can. And then what we can also do is if there's questions about it, I can take those away and we can talk about them, on the next call and kind of cover different things. But so first thing, last thing will release at Summit. And it looks like they have formed it into like, you can either just get first thing or just get last thing. You can get it in a challenge pack. With bod, it's just first thing with a bod challenge pack or first thing in a completion pack. So there's going to be those options, FYI, for coaches or people watching later that want to, figure out if you have renewals coming up, this may be a way to do it too.
You can get a Lift More challenge pack as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good to know. That's going to be a big one then.
Yeah, that's one of the tiles, the packages that I guess is available.
Okay, cool. Yeah, which is perfect timing too, because that's about when it comes out for us. So, okay, so in general, so I'm going to put up some slides. I'm going to share screen on the information we have as coaches. I took a bunch of pictures of the slideshow so there's a whole research team that goes through all of our products like that they're developing. And she had a bunch of slides. This will be a more condensed version, but if we need to get in the detail, we can look at those slides too. And what we'll go through is kind of just the overview of what's in it and why. So first thing is all about, I don't know if everybody's window, are you like seeing it? Here, I'm going to move you guys to the middle so I can read. Okay. So first thing is all about starting your morning. Now, as a caveat, some people have been doing like if you're an energized workout, then you have breakfast, then you will want to energize workout, have your first thing breakfast. So if you are a, wake up, breakfast, then energize workout, then you'll do first thing, then eat. So you want this around food, but you don't put it in food. So I'm going to describe it like a Power Greens. It's a shooter, right? You're going to mix it with 1 to 2 ounces of water and you're just going to take the shot, drink it down. It does have a strong flavor. It's less strong than it was during the test group, but it is all these great ingredients that are making up these flavors. And it's not necessarily like eating a piece of chocolate cake, right? It is just going to be getting in the stuff you want to get in. So they have worked on the flavor, and a lot of people have said now that they're used to taking it. And I would say this is probably the same thing with Power Greens. You adjust to it, right? And you know what's coming and you know what it's like. And so it's fine. So you'll just mix it with a few ounces of water. This is all meant, as you can see, to sharpen your focus, support mental clarity. So the 4 things they're really going for here is nourish brain health. That is this nootropic blend. So this is all about supporting your brain health, doing things to help cognitive and focused efforts. You have an immune support blend. So this is going to be just supporting your natural immune system. Timber, leave it. And then you have the stress defense blend. So this is going to be so that you're, less stressed, right? Like, so a lot of people reported that they felt more patient and calm in situations where maybe they weren't as patient and calm. And then this is also to help you not take on all the stress of the day, I guess you could say. So kind of to even things out. And then the energy blend, this does have 25 milligrams of caffeine. So that's from green tea. And then you have also supporting things for energy. So what I loved how Isabel Deichler, who is the creator of this, how she mentioned this is not something you're going to take it and feel like you've had a hit. Like it's not like you take it and you've had a hit of coffee, right? You're going to take it and you're going to feel elevated. You're going to feel like, oh, I am focusing more, or, oh, I'm feeling more productive, or, oh, I'm feeling less tired and I'm getting more done in my day. And what a lot of people reported is after they weren't given it anymore because the test group ended, they really missed it. So that's when they really noticed how much of a difference it had made. So it's not going to be one of those things where you're going to take it and just like instantly have this shift. But it is something that will work within you to help balance things out and support you through your day. So let's see here. Is there any questions on first thing? Let me look at my notes here too.
So after how long taking it, you will see some results?
You know, people in the test groups, they felt like after a day or two, some could feel it. After 7 days, the majority, like I think it was over 70 or 80% could tell a difference. So I would say in that first week, you'll notice, you know, the elevation, I guess you could say, right? You'll order maybe more calm, maybe more focused effort. Now, the thing you'll also have to think about is you are adding this in and you're getting 25 more milligrams of caffeine. So you may want to take a little less Energize or a little less coffee in the day or a little less matcha, whatever your caffeination system is, right? You may want to evaluate that as you're going. Like, do I really need this item? Because I know we talked about it, I think it was last week. I found I was continuing just to put in a normal 2 cups of coffee in my day. And that actually was detrimental for me, right? Like it was too much. And that made me more tired in my afternoon. So as you're using it, you'll want to evaluate, you know, how am I feeling? Do I need these other caffeination things? And you may find you have less caffeine.
Deanna, did you say what nootropic means?
So it is all about cognitive. I looked up where did I put my phone? I looked up the definition. It's all about cognitive ability. So, okay. So nootropic is they're drug supplements or substances that are claimed to improve cognitive function, particularly executive functions, attention, memory, creativity, or motivation in healthy individuals.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the questions that came up on this talk that I listened to today is some people were wondering, well, why don't we just have this in a capsule? Why are we taking a shot of these powders? And they wanted the delivery to be as easy and simple as possible. If we had put this powder in capsules, it would be 11 capsules. If you were to purchase all the things that are in here, it would be over $300 and 15 capsules a day. So they're kind of taking that middleman out and, you know, making it more doable to have all of these things together and work better for us. So let's see here. What else did she say about it? They're considered freebies. Originally, it was a half a green on Portion Fix because it's 20 calories or 25 calories. Autumn has changed that now. So they're freebies. First thing and last thing are freebies on Tubi and Portion Fix. They are also okayed for gut protocol.
Are they, do they say anything about under 18?
They are not okaying it for under 18, like everything that they do. My oldest turns 18 in a few weeks, so he's going to be having the night one for sure. But yeah, so that's a good thing to bring up too, Lily, because they did talk about, obviously we always have the pregnant and birth and breastfeeding question. So The first thing is considered a talk to your doctor. The last thing is considered a no-go because there has not been enough research done on the things they have on pregnant people of the things they used in last thing that they're just saying no. They're not even saying necessarily I mean, obviously you could talk to your doctor about it, but in there, they take a very conservative path with this so that they don't, lead people the wrong way on those things. So first thing, talk to your doctor. Last thing is not recommended for pregnant or breastfeeding. Okay. Oh, yeah. So they talked about it's just a different, like, even though this has caffeine, it's a different type of focus, and all these nootropic blends, and then the energy blend, those things are going to be a different type of focus than caffeine. So you should feel more productive. You should feel more focused into what you're doing. I know the doctor that gave the talk, I think it's Emily Fritz, she likes to do her energize workout, and then when she sits down to do her work, that's when she has her first thing. Okay.
So you would have to wait at least like an hour before drinking from Energize to.
They never said you have to wait any amount of time. So there are going to be people that do their first thing and then take their shot of Energize. And I think all they want you to do is just see how that works for you, because you may find you need a little less Energize. So the way they really worded it is they would just like you to figure, see how it works for you, if that's a good match. Julie Voris, I also watched her this morning. She was in the test group and she had her first shot of first thing this morning, because they sent it out to the top coaches, or maybe just the test group, I don't know. But she also talked about, like, she's an intermittent faster, so it normally takes things on an empty stomach, but Isabel Deichler recommended taking food around it. And I think some of that is just absorption and your body taking in what it can. But if you're normally not an eater around the time you're going to take it, you could even just do like a teaspoon of peanut butter or something that's going to be a little bit of calories, or olive oil or something that's just going to be a little bit of calories to take it. But Emily Fritz didn't go a lot into that. They just recommended you take it around food. But don't put in your Shakeology, because it's going to make it not maybe taste great. Okay, so let's go to last thing. So last thing is all about sleep support and stress defense. So the sleep support, which I found this really interesting because I know we've talked about this on here before. Melatonin is something I have not used. Like, my oldest has some trouble sleeping, but we have not used it because if you use it in greater amounts, then your body doesn't necessarily continue producing it in the same amount it could. So they did address that in here because there is melatonin in here, but it is a small enough amount. And with the tryptophan, or L-tryptophan, those two work together to help your body continue to produce what it needs also. So it is not a deterrent in the amount they're using. And I thought it was cool. I didn't realize there's hops in it. So that helps with falling asleep and staying asleep. Their goal, so let's go up here and read these. So it's all about quieting your mind, falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, enjoying a deeper, more restorative sleep, and then defend against stress. So you'll see ashwagandha was in both morning and so first thing and last thing. And they found that in studies, when you had ashwagandha twice a day, it was more effective than just having it morning or just having it in the evening. So having those two times that it happens. Now, can you have first thing without last thing and last thing without first thing? Yes, you can. If you are like, sleep is your thing that you really want to work on, and that's your issue, then just get last thing, right? So it's really, they can be meant to use alone or separate, or I mean, alone or together. Oh, the other thing I thought was interesting too. So the marigold extract in the sleep support, this is all about the effects of blue light. So your phone, your computer, I don't know, is blue light in the TV too? Yeah. So any screen time, really. The blue light can interfere with your natural sleep and wake times, or I think you could say your circadian rhythm probably. And this marigold extract helps negate the poor effects from blue light. So it helps kind of minimize those to help us fall asleep, stay asleep, do all that. I think that's the only notes I had on those two. There. Let's see, there was another longer. Okay, so yeah, so there's a bunch more, like we have a lot of great, all of this is in the coach back office if you're a coach, so you can send these out to people. They're all PDFs. It's in the normal product tools and research information. So yeah, and so the other things she talked about too, like some people were asking questions about, okay, what if I'm already taking, B vitamins? So what you'll want to do is there is a lot of B vitamins in the morning, the first thing. So you can just compare to what you're taking, take into account what you're adding in with the first thing, and then, revise accordingly so that you're not, you can't get too much B, but it's one of those things where it doesn't do you any good past a certain point so that you're not taking in too many. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about any of it?
No, I didn't think I was going to be into it, but
You might be in now.
yeah, you sold me.
I'm pretty excited about it. I think it could be really cool because, it's funny, like I would have not thought as much about this had we not just done the gut protocol and dealing with more green tea, matcha, how that feels caffeination wise, how you feel energy wise. And I think this is just a really great next step. And, the world we're in right now, it's like every day there's always something that's stressful, the decision making you're doing every day. And this is just one of those things, I think, to just kind of bring us back a little bit more and calm things down.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I'll feel it different. Like I would love it if I felt sharper. Like, I take Energized twice in the morning. If I could cut out that second one with first thing, that would be perfect,
Yeah.
Or less coffee also.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and that's the one thing they talked about is they did find a lot of people with lower caffeination with it. So you'll just have to see, see how you're feeling on it.
So you said first thing is 25 milligrams?
Yes, of green tea.
Of green tea. And how much did we decide a serving of matcha was?
Well, mine is a teaspoon is 50 milligrams. I usually do a teaspoon.
I want to say mine was 100 though, for some reason. My matcha was 100, but I don't remember where. And then a cup of an 8-ounce cup of coffee is
Depends on
100,
how
right?
you brew it. It's anywhere between 80 to up to 200, depending on how it's brewed. If it's nitro and cold brew, then it's like more toward 200. If it's espresso, it's more toward 80.
But because it's a green tea, it should release slower like it does with the matcha. Is that correct?
Your matcha is green tea.
But
It'll be the
that's
same.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So it'll release slower like the matcha does, instead of your coffee where you get your jolt and then you crash,
exactly. Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be asking my doctor then, because these kids need something to wake them up for school.
My kids have been having energized. So.
Well, Yeah, we might be having energized here too.
Yeah.
I think we should do a group taste test, like a virgin taste.
Oh, we
test.
should. For the first time, we can try it all together at
Oh.
some.
Yeah.
We'll do a reel. We'll do a reel.
Do a reel.
Have you seen any like hacks where people are like, oh, I have to put it, lemon juice or anything like that? Or if
You know,
they just,
it's supposed to have quite a bit of ginger and
oh, I like ginger.
ginger and lemon. I
Well,
can't
I'm not
remember.
like
There's two flavors that it has quite a bit of in it to kind of help it. And then I thought somebody told me that they like thought it tasted like grape. So it's going to be really interesting. And then Julie Voris, who was in the test group, right? She said it's way milder than it was in the test group. Like in the test group, it was like mulch colored and now it's much lighter and the flavor is lighter.
Mulch
yeah.
colored.
more appetizing looking.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of how I felt about the green.
Everybody's like, nope.
That's the one thing I hate about power greens is it turns all my shakes green. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't mind it. I actually don't mind the taste of power greens at all, but it
It ruins your fun colors.
I know.
You're always having a
red, white,
green shake.
yeah. Trying to make my red, white, and blue shake the other day and it ruined the blue and the red. So I had to remake it.
I know, man. How are we supposed to make Instagram, reels off that? That's no fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it'll be really, I don't know, I think it'll be really interesting and exciting to try it out and kind of furthers, our getting off some of the conventional things and
Did
stuff that will support your body.
is the pricing out for it yet?
It is. I vaguely remember Coach pricing. Like
I
the
mean-
two together were like 150 or 156. And it was like 150 PV.
Another reason to
Be a
another
coach.
reason to build my business.
Exactly. Yep. And another reason to be a coach too, because you get the discount.
Yeah.
You're a preferred customer.
That's right.
So anything you want me to look up or any questions about it?
So if I have one of those, oh my goodness, the first thing,
Yeah.
and I have one scoop of energized, I will be okay, right?
You should be fine. You may just want to try it like you take your first thing and then do like a half scoop of Energize if you're normally like a scoop or something. You may want to just play around with it. See if you really need the entire thing of Energize, or if you like it, then I think you're fine. I mean, they really didn't say you're only adding 25 milligrams in. I think their point was, and what we also talked about in gut protocol a lot, was not being so dependent on caffeine because that can mess with your adrenals. And so that, you know what I mean? So then you're like, if you don't need the extra Energize, then don't do it, right? Because there's no point in it. As Kim's like ready to go get her Energize again.
One shot. What are you talking about? Two, maybe?
No reason for Energize. What?
I know. It's crazy talk.
It is crazy to
I mean, they are two different functions. They are two different functions too. And they talked a lot about that. Energize is for your workout. So
Yeah,
that is to get the most from your workout.
I suspect that I'm trying to make caffeine do something else, like,
I
sharpen my
suspect you
focus.
are too. Yeah.
So
and I was doing that with coffee.
Yeah. So I mean, I just need a little help getting to the next level, finding the right thing that I need to do. Look at that baby.
Well, and when you were on gut protocol, Kim, how low did you go in your caffeination?
So
I mean, I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just curious.
like how many, I went down to like, to the required 2 Energize a day.
So you were at 200 milligrams for the day?
Yeah, but when I did reset, I went all the way down to 1. So, I mean, I can go down without.
But like, how did you feel on gut protocol being at 200?
I mean, I felt fine. I know I don't really need if I'm nourishing my body, I don't really need the caffeine. It's like, I can't, I don't know what I'm mistaking for. Oh, I need a hit of caffeine. It's probably just water. I'm probably just get dehydrated at certain
Yeah.
points where I'm like, or I need a break, like a mental break for a second. And I think I need caffeine, like
Right,
I
yeah.
know it's just a crutch and it's not really working for me. I've hit diminishing returns on Energized, but I'm not ready to give it up until I have something, to
Yeah.
try another placebo, right? Like if I could replace it with eating an apple, or I should try anything. I really should try anything because
Right.
I mean, I don't know that the caffeine's hurting me, but it's not helping me.
Well, it can, past a certain point, it can, because it can make your adrenals more overworked and then you're creating more cortisol, which then does negate any good that's doing, right?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
then
Yeah.
it's making you more tired in the afternoon. You're not sleeping as well and you're not feeling as well. So that's why it's one of those things where, you find your optimal level. And then,
Yeah.
if you're tired, maybe you're just tired that day and you need to go take a nap or you need to get a drink or, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever, or maybe you haven't had enough food that day, but like your amount is your amount. Yeah.
I mean, definitely I slept better on the reset and I was having less caffeine. So
Yeah.
I've just told myself that story of, oh, caffeine doesn't really affect me. I could have it and go right to bed, like it's probably not true. It's just a story I tell myself. So working on changing those.
Yeah. Yeah. And this might be a good way to do it, right? Because you can then test it out to see, okay, I'm going to have this plus 2 scoops during my day and see how that is, see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm tweaking things now. I'm ready to make some changes. So it's a good timing. I'll be all hyped up.
Perfect. I love it. All right. Well, we can get into other things. Let's see. Does anybody? Lily's got a label.
I
But
brought
are
it,
they really? Oh my
I
God.
brought it with me in the car.
She comes prepared.
Yeah, so it's dry roasted edamame with wasabi on it, and it's soybean sea salt wasabi powder, and it's serving size is 1/3 cup, 130 calories, 4 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar but no added sugar, and 14 grams of protein.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe that's a red.
So yeah, so that's what I was curious how you would count that, because it has pretty good fiber compared to the carbs, obviously, and a lot of protein.
Yeah. Well, edamame is considered a red, right? Is it only vegan? I don't even remember.
I think it's vegan and the gut protocol.
But if you're on regular portion fix, it's probably.
It's like a green, wasn't it?
No, I think it's a yellow.
Let me look here and see if it's on here.
I think it's a yellow.
I think it's a yellow too, because I was like, I'm not eating that anymore. I thought it was a green vegetable,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not wasting my carbs on edamame.
Not wasting my carbs on you.
Not with my yellows, you mean, on an edamame green?
Yes, that's what I mean. I'm not wasting my yellows.
Yeah, so organic edamame shelled is a yellow.
Which doesn't, I just, why would it be? Because it has high fat?
No, I mean, it has 10 carbs, but I don't know why there's something in the breakdown, right, of having the percentages work out where edamame stays a yellow and so does quinoa, right? But then in another plan, when we're using more plants, she has the plan tweaked to where those, the part of the percentage counts towards protein, or enough of it counts toward protein. I mean, yeah, I don't know why on those things. And the hard part is like those are dried too. So you may not get as full, or just they might have, you're just going to have a little extra water probably with them to have them act more like a regular one. But it shouldn't take it. The fiber should still be there. your water content's not there. So you're just not going to get as full.
Gotcha. Yeah, I bought them as a snack because I was like, oh, they have a lot of protein and they have good fiber.
Yeah.
But I remembered that edamame was a yellow on the regular, but a red on the vegan and the gut protocol.
It's because
Yeah.
they taste good and buttery, like anything that tastes good, you want to eat a lot of.
The yellow.
It's a yellow.
So I have a question. I got one here. Have you guys, any of you guys had this palmini rice?
I haven't.
I'm afraid to try it. I was checking out yesterday. I was gonna put it on our cacciatore, but I'm like, oh, what if I keep thinking it's gonna taste sour. Or have you had the palmini spaghetti?
No, I've had the mashed, I have the rice, and I have the linguine, and I have the spaghetti or something. I have another noodle. And the mash, it was relatively flavorless with like a tiny bit of like sourness, but I mean, overall it was really not, there was no flavor.
Like kind of like cauliflower, like about it the same as riced cauliflower or something?
Ish, I'd say, like, I mean, it has like a hint of sourness to it.
Okay.
But I mean, if you're putting it with something else, I think it'll completely just lose the flavor.
Okay.
I don't think you'll taste it.
All
Like, if
right.
you're sitting there taking a
I will
bite, you
try
might,
it before
yeah,
I will try
Yeah,
it
I
before
have-
summit and do a review.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't remember who else. Someone else had the noodles.
Sue,
Oh yeah,
Sue's had all of them, I think.
yeah. I've had vegetable
Mhm.
noodles a couple times in the last week, and those have been pretty good. I did them with pesto.
You know, I'm pretty mad at gut protocol because I haven't been able to eat corn anything since since gut protocol because now I'm like upset at like it's not I want to eat it, but I'm like that's not real food and that doesn't digest. And I'm like, you know, like it's ruined even corn chips for me. Like I'm annoyed at gut protocol for that.
Um, my body doesn't seem to care about corn. Corn isn't
I
something.
mean, it's not a problem for my body, it's a problem for my mind. I just keep thinking it's not a real food, it's all genetically modified and people in other countries don't eat it. So that's why I'm like, no. Yeah.
If you go with organic, then you're safe.
Organic, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, organic's not going to be GMO. It can't be GMO if it's organic. Because the seeds have to be organic. And they
Okay.
have to not put, yeah.
No, I guess I was just thinking it just couldn't have organic, non-organic like fertilizers and everything on it, but it goes down to the basic seeds. So so there's still some virgin corn out there.
There's some hope for you.
There's some hope.
Yeah,
okay.
like, so I get these. I get at Aldi, the blue corn
Okay.
tortilla chips.
Mhm.
You get them on JetBlue.
Yeah, they're blue. They also have yellow ones too. So,
Okay, good to know.
But yeah.
No, I don't. I heard Autumn today. Anybody catch Autumn on her video where she was answering the question, could you do gut protocol on
Yes. Live
Joel's
more.
program?
Oh yeah, did she? Yeah.
Yes.
She's
Answer yes.
yeah, she's talked about that in past ones too. And yeah, I mean, it's a yes.
What?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk before and I've heard it from other people now. You talk about macros. What is that? I know
Yeah.
macros are like the protein, fat, carbs, calories, but what does it mean when you're tracking your macros?
Yeah. So macro just stands for macronutrients, like you said, right? And it is only protein, fat, carb. So when you're tracking those macros, you have a set percentage of each one that you want to do. And a lot of people use an app and then they'll put in the food that they ate and it will split out the macros for that food. And then you'll track your day according to those percentages. So, let's say you're getting to the end of your day and you've already had all your carbs for the day, but you still need more protein and more fat, right? Then you would fill in a food that meets those macro parameters. And so when people eat according to macros, that's how they're doing it. They're not necessarily, some people will follow like certain food groups or certain qualities of food, right? Like whole foods or, less processed foods. But the whole idea of macros is that your goal is getting to a certain percentage every day. So a really standard, safe, used a lot percentage is 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. That's what Portion Fix is. That's just a standard. If you're, strength training, that's a standard percentage to be able to, help with your muscle retention and be fueled in your workouts. So yeah, we like with Portion Fix, you're still hitting those macro numbers. You're just not tracking by food in an app and watching the percentages, right? You're just hitting your containers off the food list, and you will then get to that 40, 30, 30.
All right, so if you're using the Portion Fix, you don't have to worry about tracking macros because they're
Right.
doing it for you?
If you're following the plan, you're following a macro plan. Yeah, you're getting the macros in. And that's why there's like a 200 calorie leeway too, because you may pick things different places on the list. So one day you may have 1800 calories and the next day you could have 1900 calories, and both days you completed, your plan according to plan.
Okay.
But because there's differences and there will be slight differences in hitting the macro percentage too. But that's the same as if you're tracking it in the app and watching it. It's going to be really hard to get exactly 40% and exactly 30% on those things. Some people feel like tracking macros is simpler but it kind of allows you to have junk, in my opinion. It kind of gives you a leeway to be like, okay, I'm going to have this ice cream because it fits in my macros. And not that ice cream's bad, but if you're fitting it in your macros all the time, then it's not really benefiting you either. That's added sugar. That's, depending on how good the ice cream is, you might be getting other stuff in. So Portion Fix is really all based about getting more plants and whole foods in.
It's easier with the containers. I have
Yeah,
tried them.
it's funny. Like a
That's
lot of
on
people are
nuts.
scared. A lot of people are scared of the containers. It seems daunting. It seems hard. But really, once you kind of get in that routine, it's pretty simple. And you start thinking in colors, right? You think, okay, I need a red here. I need a yellow here. I don't have enough greens. And but it's all about comfort and all about your habits. So what you're used to, you will revert back to if you haven't made something new, the thing you're used to.
Yeah, I tried the macros for a couple of weeks, and Lily's my witness, but I was like, I am going back. I'm like, nope. And that's why I was like, I'll do the accountability to do tracking every week, and that's what we've been doing. But it's better with the containers than for me.
I think so. Okay, good to know, Mary.
And there's the whole goal is that you're getting fueled from all those macronutrients, right? So, and with the stuff we've talked about a lot in the last few months, Gut Protocol and Portion Fix, the other piece of that is we encourage diversity in your food. And so sometimes when you're on just a macro based plan, or, I know like if you're in like competition and stuff, it seems like the meal plans get pretty boring because you're all about hitting that macro plan, and what chicken breast is, what green beans are, what these certain things will hit for you. So I think sometimes to me, it seems a little more in a rut, and I'm really, really glad that they did all the recipes they do for us, just because you can have all these great different meals, but still stay on plan and on track.
If you're going to do macros, what do you have, that app that tells you your own breakdown? You put in your information, because.
Yeah, you would have to put in each food you eat. Yeah, and then
Well,
it breaks it down.
But
I-
do they have to know your body before they can break it down for you?
Well, no, I mean, like everything, it's a guideline, right? So there, you're gonna put in whatever your weight is, whatever your height is,
Yeah.
and you're gonna say whether or not your goal is weight loss, maintenance, or build muscle. Same as portion fix, right? You're still doing the same generalities. Now, if you're going to like a specific nutrition coach, or a nutritionist or a dietitian, they, I mean, they might, a nutrition coach can't do that, but a nutritionist and a dietitian could get you more specific on a certain plan. But the majority, like 40, 30, 30 is like really safe. Unless you have some kind of medical thing that a registered dietitian, would rather have you on something different. That's just a really good general.
I was just wondering if doing it by macros is more specific to you than the
Portion fix.
than the containers, or they.
Well, the only thing that's more specific is you're choosing your food more. So you could choose Cheetos and write it in, and it would spit out a macro for it, right? Because there's going to be carbs, there's going to be fat, there's going to be protein in it. So you can put your Cheetos in there. It'll say what macros it was. I had a cup of Cheetos, and so it's in there. Whereas portion fix is going to be like, I don't even know what Cheetos are. That's not on the list. So that would be where you can kind of finagle things a bit.
And if you're counting your macros, you're probably also counting your calories, because otherwise you just eat
They'd match
3,000.
up. Well, but they'd match up. Yeah. Yeah. You'd put in both sets of information, right? So you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do 1,800 calories on a 40, 30, 30. And this is how it breaks down.
And like my Fitness Pal will do that for you. I don't know.
There's
the free one,
tons.
but-
There's Lose It, My Fitness Pal. I mean, there's just tons of different apps.
You,
you can
you
use.
set your own, you said if you want 40, 30, 30. I forgot. I think I first tried that when I was doing trying to do Shalene's program, and it was a ridiculously different, for me, it was ridiculously different than 40, 30, 30. I don't remember, but that's where the only time I tried it.
Did
Yeah.
you say 40 was protein?
40 is carbs, 30 protein, 30 fat.
Okay.
I think the other big difference between portion fix and a lot of those macro plans is that honestly, portion fix leans you towards focusing on micronutrients, which really, while we need the macros, the micronutrients are what fuel our gut. And so then that's what really gives us how we're feeling mentally, emotionally, physically. The other just makes it so that we can sustain our life.
Right.
And to me, I don't really care about sustaining life. I'd rather be thriving in life because I've lived life sustaining and it blows.
Right.
It's just
Yeah,
not,
I mean, you
wasn't
can work
living.
your macros with all kinds of processed foods. You can
Right.
still be on a macro plan, right? Like you can still be like, yeah, I'm watching my macros, right? But yeah, that's exactly right. It emphasizes whole foods that are unprocessed, and you're getting the most nutrients.
So same with counting calories. Like when I was growing up, they would be like, oh, just eat, 1,500 calories a day, and they didn't care if you ate
Didn't
all,
matter. Yeah.
chocolate cake and Coca-Cola. It was just fine, so it's come a long way, right? Gotten a lot more
Yeah, I
specific.
mean, I think we know a lot more, especially in recent, 5-7 years, talking about gut health. Like that science is really emerging right now because of all the studies they're finally starting to do about it and seeing the effects of changing your gut. And I think it's also coming around too, because we have as a society have started to get really poor guts, right? We now have access to anything processed, anything we want. Whereas before you had to go make things, right? You had to grow it. You had to go make it. The amount of snack and processed food everywhere wasn't there.
I have a
on-
label.
Okay,
I
did
have a
you have one more question, Kathy, or were you good?
Let her do the label. I was just,
Okay.
gonna-
Go ahead, Kat.
I was just gonna say something I discovered. On July 4th, we went to a house party and they had a pool and it was gorgeous out. So I went in the water. And I was walking across the pool and I realized that I could do lunges and squats in the pool that I can't do on land. I
Yeah,
guess because there's no weight bearing. So like I spent like 40 minutes walking back and forth lunging
yeah.
and doing squats. It was like, wow, because I can't do that in real life.
Well, yeah, you're supported in a much different way. But you're also using, like, just walking through water, you're using a lot of your muscle to it's a resistance training still. And there's a lot of, you should look and see if there's some water aerobics in your area, because I used to lifeguard during all those classes and they're so fun. And
Yeah.
they're really great to just still work. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call them strength training. They're going to be like a body weight training, but in a different way, right? Because you're still going to do the workout and feel sore from it, likely because you're using things you don't feel like you're using. You're not getting hot and sweaty because you're in the water. So it's like you're working hard but not feeling in the same way. But then you feel it the next day, right? Because you did work.
I did it on vacation a couple of times and they give you the styrofoam
Yeah,
dumbbell. And I'm looking at them going, what are these going to do? But when
Right.
you do them on the water,
yeah.
they hurt. And then there was one, we all went in a circle and we linked arms. We went around the circle, but every other person walked and the other person had to hold up the other two. Well, my arms were killing me the
Yeah.
next. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
I
a great
took
workout.
I took water bottles into the pool to try it, but they don't work like the styrofoam.
Yeah, the styrofoam floats, so you're really working against it. It's almost like eccentric movements because you're working against gravity to hold them under.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can do great bicep and tricep stuff underwater with those dumbbells.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like great.
All right,
So,
Maribel, what do you got?
go ahead, Maribel.
You guys keep eating something similar to this.
Oh yeah, so those are what's the main ingredient on that one?
Water and wheat flour tapioca.
Okay, so that one's just an udon noodle, which is just a Japanese style noodle. So it's a wheat-based noodle. The one that's probably in the same section because I noticed in our grocery store too, there's is it refrigerated?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple different kinds. Lily has been getting the one that has tofu in it. And so, because that one's probably like a normal calorie pasta, like maybe 130
150.
a serving. Yeah. So that's going to be like a normal pasta. It just happens to be a fresh udon noodle, which is going to be delicious, FYI, if you put that with some Japanese seasonings. But the one that like Sue and I've been getting miracle noodles, or then there's also that tofu noodle that that Lily was getting. That one's in the refrigerated case. So you'll just have to look on the back to see. Those are all like somewhere between 5 and 25 or 40 calories a serving.
Okay.
So they're kind of like, and they're made with either shirataki mushrooms. What's mine? Oh, kojak,
Okay.
which is a root. So it's
She
just
has
great
two little
fun.
packages, and it's like half a pouch, 150 calories. And I was like, is that a yellow or is
It
that?
is. Yeah, that'll be a little more than a yellow. Yeah, it'll be like a yellow and a half. Oh, so there's one pasta zero. So that's another option you can get. So they really don't count because they're so low in calories. And then you can just mix them with whatever you want to do.
Gotcha.
This one says that it's 20 calories per serving or 45 calories per container.
And what is yours?
We've talked about this.
Kojak?
It's because it has water, konjac flour, chickpea flour, potato starch.
Oh, potato
Calcium.
starch. Yeah.
Yeah, calcium hydroxide. This was the one that, yeah. So,
What's it called, baby?
but what's weird is that it says it's shaped shirataki, but it doesn't say anything about shirataki.
Right. There's no
in-
shirataki in it. I know that Lily's had that too, and it had tofu in it, and it's not shirataki. It's very weird. I don't know why they can call it shirataki on the front, but it's
But
like
still, what would
shirataki
it-
style.
Well, so what would it be then? Is it still 0?
That one's probably going to be more toward, well, how many carbs did it have?
Carbs, it has 5 with 3
Oh.
dietary fiber.
Then maybe you're like a half a green.
Oh, I'm sorry. The total for the entire bag, it's 10 with 5 grams of fiber.
I still think you're probably going to be more on the green. You must have more konjac in there than anything else. The Miracle, that one's pasta 0, Mirabelle. The one I get is called Miracle Noodles. It's not in the refrigerated section. It's in its shelf, but it's in a bag of water. It's very weird, but they're actually really good. And that one's like 5 calories. It's all konjac root. So I just look around at them and see what's in them. What, Kim?
I have never had that before.
Well, I knew they existed, but I had never had them, and I decided to try it on the Gut Protocol. I mean, it's kind of a nice way. It makes your meal feel bigger and go farther, but I was hungry faster than my next meal after having it. So like while I felt really full having it, it was like an hour later that I hadn't had it. You know what I mean?
Chinese food,
Yeah.
like Chinese food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is one of those water-filled bags too. I find it really weird. I think that's why I haven't tried it yet.
Right. I know it totally creeps me out. And then one
Yeah.
of them I had, like, the smell was weird, but the Miracle Noodles like have no flavor, no smell, nothing. So, and you just have to kind of see what you, and if you like it, I got them because they were on sale and I wanted to try them. But I think while some of the dishes I made were good, I think I'd still rather have the real thing and just not be hungry an hour later.
Yeah. There's
I just
something.
don't want to eat the same food. I eat a lot of Mexican and this. I'm like, I am done.
Well, throw those udon noodles in with some chicken and some aminos and a bunch of veggies. It'll be really good.
Okay.
Bok choy.
Yeah.
Saute it up.
I wanted to share something really positive. on the day before July 3rd, I went up in my garage and took out my 2 boxes of smaller clothes. They've been there for like 10 years. Some of them I bought 10 years ago, some are from high school. And half the stuff in the boxes fit me, so I feel like I went shopping.
Oh, that's fun.
I tell you, I've lost like 20 pounds since March of 21 is when I started coming back to Beachbody. And like, so today I had those pictures and I'm asking my husband, I put on the bathing suit. I said, look at the picture. Do I look different? Because I can't see it. And he goes, yeah. So I said, all right, take new pictures. So we took the pictures. That's what I sent you. And I can see it. It's not a lot, but I can see the difference.
Oh, I
And I'm
think
like,
you look a lot different. I think there's a
Oh,
big
that's
difference in it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Congrats.
so I
Woo.
got all these new clothes now that I forgot about in these boxes. And it's like, I'm standing in front of the mirror and I like getting dressed.
I love it. That's awesome.
Think like that in a long time. So it's like, that's motivation to stay on this.
It is. It is. Yeah. Remember how this feels to feel good about looking in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys are such a help. Like, it's so motivating and inspiring to come to this meeting.
Well, I'm glad.
Now, when do you go? Is it next week or the week after?
Next week. So we won't have a call next week. We'll be off next week. We leave, most of us are leaving Wednesday to go. And then
Okay.
we'll be back like Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
And what, I don't even remember what, oh, tomorrow's beach day for Funky Friday. So either your beach
Tomorrow's
hat or beach
Friday.
ball or fun filter. Throw on
Wow.
That's
some,
what I did today. Can you guys see
Nice.
that?
Cute.
I
Can you
love
see
it. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
beach body?
I love it.
Oh, I could. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
See
I thought it
the-
just was blue. But
No,
yeah.
it's got a little beach body swirl in it.
Oh,
That's
cute,
cool.
Cute. And the following week I'll be on vacation, so I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've had some good things. Friday I had a wedding and I gained 3 pounds at the wedding. And in 2 days, I took it off just in time for July 4th. And I put on 3 pounds on July 4th and I took it off 2 days later.
Perfect.
So I'm ready for the next party, which is Sunday. And put on another 3.
That'll be good. Oh, and then meal prep Sunday. So, what did I put on there? Turkey hash. And I did the shopping list today, so I'll be posting that in all the groups today too. Turkey hash, crunchy veggie wraps, and then baba ganoush. So we'll be making our own baba ganoush, so you could use that instead of the hummus. These crazy dogs. It's really annoying. Oh, oh man, she just went through
Forgot
my
to pick up an
plant.
eggplant.
What'd you say, Bev?
I forgot to pick up an eggplant at the grocery
Oh,
store.
Right. Guys, I gotta run. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. Thanks for all the info, Deanna. Nice to see everybody.
good to see you too. Yeah, we'll hop off. I'll take a screenshot here really quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody cheese. All right, good job.
Aw.
I'm getting good at this screenshot thing. All right, well, we'll see you all at the meal prep class if you can make it. That'll be a good one.
Oh, shoot. I will try to be there.
Yeah, I have a barbecue.
All right.
So have a good time at the trip. We'll look for
Thank you.
pictures.
Thank you. We'll see you when we get back.
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.